What's going on? Glad to see you join the Ikigai Masterclass. I won't take up so much of your time, so I'll make this webinar quite brief. Have you ever wondered what it's like for your job to be a work of art and for that work of art to be your business? Well, don't just build a business, build a lifestyle by finding your Ikigai. Hi, my name is Joseph Wise, and today I'm here to tell you what it takes to start your pathway to Ikigai. And if you're wondering, what the heck is an Ikigai? If you stick around to the end of this masterclass, you'll find out more and how this concept can help someone like yourself, because I know it did for me, find out what life's passions and or purpose. So, in this masterclass, you'll learn how to define your niche, which equals your superpower, how to gain clarity on your goals and achieve them, and how to have adversity to grow through what you go through. So to give you a bit of a backstory about my pathway Ikigai, a little more than 2 years ago, I was incarcerated in a max security cell facing 11 charges and 2 counts of a VOP. I know it may sound crazy, but no, really. I thought I had lost my life to the system, but God had other plans. Although it was a long sitting weight gain, missing the years I did away from my family, constantly being incarcerated was sort of worth it compared to how I was running around like a chicken with my head cut off. Sitting in that cell the last time really made me wonder, why am I doing this? Where was the undisciplined action I was conducting in deriving from? My last time being incarcerated is when the answers to my problems hit me like a brick. It was the lack of my experiences. So while reading plenty of books and learning new things, those books that kept me entertained while incarcerated taught me that the mind can take you places you've never really been before. And just reading those books gave me a new experience. And a new experience of what? A new experience of knowledge. So at this time, I had figured out why I was conducting myself in the way that I did, and that was because the lack of profound knowledge that I had in my experiences. And although I figured it was the lack of experiences in things for me, it wasn't until I came across the formulated method of Ikigai, which brings me here today to teach you all about, that my life started to take a change for the better. I knew I needed new knowledge and experience to change my life if I really wanted to get out and stay out of jail, but I didn't quite know exactly where I needed to start. But the concept of Ikigai led me to knowing exactly where I could start in order to create a new experience for my change. And so if you're struggling, you can use these 4 major components that's meant for better personal development in order for us to follow our true purpose or passions. So this right here is a before and after picture of me discovering my Ikigai. And to include that the pathway to your Ikigai won't be easy, because it's a journey like life itself, but leading with the fact that I've been able to go from facing possibly life in prison to publishing my first book, starting a clothing brand, and being able to network and help others with starting their business, I would say it was worth it on starting my pathway to Ikigai. And not to say I'm anywhere near complete, but looking forward to more experiences this journey may bring, and hopefully for you as well. So if you joined this masterclass, congratulate yourself for taking the first step on your pathway to Ikigai. You have the will to gain experiences in this new profound knowledge. So getting started with the actual presentation of this masterclass, you're going to learn how you can use your Ikigai to grow through what you go through. And the first thing I'll discuss about this is time management. And when speaking on this term, I'm not talking about you being able to run a 40-yard dash within 5 seconds, but I mean the amount of time it takes for you to get good enough to complete a 40-yard dash within 5 seconds. In other words, we all know anyone isn't just going to wake up and be able to run a 40-yard dash. You have to learn. And with learning, that may come with a tank of trials and tribulations, but that's what brings us to the next subject in mind, crisis management, which is key to being able to manage those trials and tribulations you'll face when training to be good with your time. And when dealing with crisis management, you have to know the differences in the crisis you may be going through, which is a form of choosing your pain. And I know you may not be hearing me right now, but what exactly is choosing your pain? For example, say you work a sales job like I did, and you get paid daily for a commission. But although it may be a pain for you to wake up and go to work in the morning, wouldn't it be more of a pain for you not to have any money in your pocket at the end of the day? So these are 2 pains that you have to manage And which one would you choose? So while managing these two basic fundamentals within prayer and meditation is what causes discipline to be formed. And that's what sets someone on the course of building and breaking habits, which is needed to obtain the discovery of your Ikigai. And to further establish these principles, you should affirm your habits by taking action. And this is how someone comes to using their Ikigai to gain clarity on their goals, by focusing on a vision of what success is. And to you, that may be having a big house, a nice car, or maybe even 1,000,000 books. I'm here to tell you, none of those are true success. And what do I mean by that? You have to define your success. So in other words, success isn't about where you are or what you have, but should be defined by a person simply knowing where they want to be and how they're going to get there. For example, say you have a child, but that doesn't make you a successful parent, does it? But knowing that you always want to be in that child's life and taking action for that to happen is what makes you a truly successful parent. And this is how someone comes to creating a vision, by using their Ikigai, which in taking heed of knowing this is a major factor needed to focus on vision. I know we've all heard that it's better to give than to receive, right? So what are you going to give in order for your vision to feed back into what you are focusing on, which will help you advance what you wish to receive, which I found this technique to be a formula for manifestation. But again, you have to take action. And being able to learn and experience this in itself is your worth. So with all these combined, should allow the opportunity to build a well-established guide for all that you wish to happen, which would be your vision. Are y'all following me here? Okay. If not, this is why I created a webinar. You can play it back as many times as you need to catch up to what I'm saying. So using your Ikigai to define your niche. Just having the vision helps to focus and define your niche, which equals your superpower. By learning what you would love to do and using your God-given gifts and skills to create the worth you wish to bestow upon others will be a gift given back to you by the force of nature. And what is nature? Life. And what is life? Passions. And that is something the world needs from you. And how does someone discover their passion and or purpose? By which I've learned, figuring out their Ikigai, which is the superpower to define what the world needs from you. Yeah, and I know this may sound a bit far-fetched, saying that the world needs something from you, but it's the truth at its finest. Whether it's to a lesser or greater extent is up to you. And for a brief overview of exactly what Ikigai is, it is a Japanese concept that derives from the Chinese community and is widely used throughout the Okinawan culture. Okinawa is a Japanese island with the longest and happiest life expectancy in the world, reaching well over 100 years in age. This is achieved from the philosophy of Ikigai being deeply enrooted into their culture, for their meaning of the concept being the realization of what one expects and hopes for the here and now. And with many different meanings across many different countries, they all lead back to the most common meaning of them all: your life's worth and values, or passions and purpose. The origin of this word goes back a few years before a century ago, when the Japanese community was at its peak. This is a time when their emperor courts were noting people's arts, poetry, and literature. Not to say that the discovery and implementation of Ikigai was the cause of the national upbringing for the culture's work of art, but presuming with the fact that the culture seemed to mature as a whole at the same time of them enrooting the concept within their culture. Yet to mention, during this time is when the major Chinese influencers were in decline. So, I would assume, with the greatness that took place in the Chinese community reaching its peak, while at the fall of political influences, people took heed of their own life's passions and purpose and built multiple works of art that still stand today as their legacy by following their Ikigai. See, are y'all catching along with me now? Y'all see what I'm trying to say? So with this conclusion, I have to say, I am a firm believer in the scripture written that all things work together for the good. And what is the good in all? God's purpose for the kingdom to come. And if you're looking to find your passions, or establish your purpose by defining your legacy for when his kingdom is to come, you should be willing to find your Ikigai.